In today's video, we're going to talk about working the fourth step in financial UA. This step has been a long time coming, and a lot of people get hung up emotionally, frustrated, afraid. Sometimes they avoid it. Sometimes they choose to stop working the steps altogether. But let me tell you, working the fourth step is nothing to be afraid of. It's a chance to find freedom. It's a chance to go through a spiritual rite of passage where you can cross a threshold to freedom. I want to teach you how to work the financial UA fourth step. It's easier than you think. It's not that hard. And you are going to enjoy the process. It's going to be a spiritual experience, and I want to teach you all about it. So stay tuned. Hey, welcome! My name is Jay from Baltimore, Maryland, and I want to welcome you to the Financial UA General Service Office. Come on in and grab a seat. Let's get this meeting started. Before we start working the Financial UA fourth step together, I want to encourage you to do the best you can with getting a qualified sponsor in Financial UA. Over the course of this video, if you wish, you can consider me to be your temporary qualified sponsor just for today. But I want to encourage you to think long term. I want to encourage you to consider getting a qualified financial UA sponsor who can walk you through the remainder of the steps in this process. A qualified sponsor is somebody who's already worked the financial UA 12 steps under the guidance, support, and sponsorship of a qualified financial UA sponsor, because we can only give away what we've already received. So in order to be a qualified financial UA sponsor, that person needs to have worked with a qualified financial UA sponsor. And when you work with a qualified financial UA sponsor, you will train and prepare yourself to become a qualified financial UA sponsor. So before we move forward on step 4, I want to just give you a word to the wise. When people have difficulty with doing their fourth step in any 12-step program, it's usually because they still struggled with doing a thorough and complete third step. It's hard to work on a step if you have not built the foundation with the step that comes just before it. So if you find yourself afraid or hesitant to work on step 4, I would encourage you to make sure that your recovery foundation in step 3 is really strong and really healthy. I would encourage you to click this link right here to watch the video about step 3, living the step and doing interviews. You may also consider clicking this link to review the video about step 3, learning to share. You may click this link right here to review the video about step 3, building your team. I would encourage you to write your fourth step within the physical space of your recovery shrine or your recovery laboratory. If you need to review the video about how to create a recovery shrine or a recovery laboratory, I would encourage you to click this link right here. Now you're ready to do your written fourth step. Ideally, you'll be writing your fourth step within the physical space of your recovery shrine or your recovery laboratory. To help create and hold this space and make it sacred, to make it a healing space, to make it a safe space in which you can connect with your higher power and to allow all of the things inside of you to flow out as you write about your fourth step, I would invite you to say the prosperity prayer. In fact, we could do that together. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, the wisdom to know the difference, and the prosperity to afford it. And higher power and earning power, please be helpful as we begin the process of writing the fourth step. The next inventory you're going to write about is sexual relationships, both real and imagined. The reason why we put that last part in, imagined, is that you can learn just as much about yourself from your imagined relationships as you have from your real sexual relationships. Oftentimes, a person's sexual imagination contains a lot of things that they can learn about themselves. So, without judging, we're really just trying to get down to the truth of who you are. As you begin to write about your sex inventory, I would encourage you to say the prosperity prayer, to invite your higher power to help create and hold the space and keep it safe so that you can get in touch with your sexuality issues, so you can get in touch and write about these things, to let it flow out, to feel the freedom of taking ownership, of being authentic, of being honest, of experiencing that emotional intimacy with your true self. It's perfectly okay to write about anything you need to write about. There is no judgment in this process. You might consider attending some of the following fellowships: SLAA, SAA, SA, SIA, CODA, or Al-Anon. Any of these recovery fellowships that focus on sexuality or relationships, these are safe places for you to connect, to plug into the higher power of these fellowships and to draw healing and strength so that you can get in touch with your personal truth. Also, these fellowships can help support you through the process of your written sexual inventory. If you ever feel stuck in your sex inventory, consider attending one of these fellowships. Oftentimes, members can draw strength and energy from these fellowships that allow them to move forward with writing out their sex inventory. If you can't get in touch with any other of your sexual issues that you know you really need to address and process a little bit more, I would encourage you to ask your higher power to gently shake up your life, or to stir the pot, or to gently trigger you in a positive way so that those deep issues around sexuality, maybe things that you've pushed down or forgotten about or just blanked out, that those will gently come to your attention and that you can start to write about it. And when those things are brought to your attention, it gives you a chance to look into the mirror and see yourself that much more clearly. And as you see yourself clearly, you can write about what you see with regards to your sex inventory, and you can get it down on the written page. Financial UA is the kind of fellowship that is spiritual and holistic. We embrace and support the idea that every 12-step fellowship has value. And if you find support and value in any 12-step program, I want to encourage you to draw upon the strength of that fellowship, to use all the fellowships as spiritual resources to help you in your recovery process. There are a lot of successful ways to write a sex inventory. In fact, there's no wrong way to write about it. Really, you're just trying to get in touch with being authentic, being honest, and experiencing true emotional and spiritual intimacy with yourself as you write your truth out on the written page. I want to give you a strategy called First 5, Last 5. For some people, this strategy works really well when they're writing their sex inventory. You start by writing about your first 5 sexual relationships. And in those first 5 relationships, you look for patterns. Then you write about your most recent 5 sexual relationships, and you look to see if there are patterns there. From your first 5 to your last 5, do you see patterns that connect them throughout all the relationships in between? Again, when you write about your sex inventory, I want to encourage you to look for patterns. Your patterns establish who you are, and they also establish the space you have to break free of patterns to try something different when we move forward in the step work. Once you've written out your inventory of all your sexual relationships, both real and imagined, you'll probably have written a lot and maybe even have sorted through a lot of old memories and old feelings. Again, Use all of these fellowships as needed to help support you through the process. And of course, continue to use your action partners, your financial UA qualified sponsor, your PRG team, your prosperity team. Use all of your recovery resources to help support you through this process. And when you're done, take 24 hours afterwards to decompress and talk about your closure process with your sponsor or in any meeting or workshop. As you are writing this inventory and all of the smaller inventories that make up your fourth step, I would encourage you to also keep track and document any spiritual experiences that you have had while you've gone through this process. Perhaps you had a series of spiritual awakenings. Write about your spiritual awakenings. Write about your spiritual experiences. Write about any aha moments or deeper realizations you've had while you've been doing your fourth step. Now it's time for our seventh tradition. Every financial UA meeting ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. There are no dues or fees for financial UA membership. All of our meetings are completely free to attend, both over the phone and face-to-face. Please keep in mind that we do have expenses, such as covering the cost of our website, developing new literature, and maintaining our service office. If you would like to make a seventh tradition donation, you can click the PayPal link below or visit our website at financialua.org and click the donate button. You can also support this program by purchasing a copy of our Financial UA 12-Step Workbook or our Financial UA Traditions Workbook. Also, you can help us carry the message by subscribing to our channel and even by sharing this video with your sponsor or sponsee. Lastly, please consider clicking that like button and give us a big thumbs up for service. Now's the time for sharing. Who'd like to take a share? In the comments section below, feel free to share your experience, strength, and hope around writing a fourth step. What was it like to write out the different fourth step inventories that made up your fourth step? Share about it in the comments section below. Remember, when you share your first-hand experiences with writing the fourth step, you can teach other people through your experience. And in recovery, everybody's a student and everybody's a teacher. So share about your experience in the comments section below, and maybe you could also learn from the experience of other people when you read their comments. And of course, do consider clicking the subscribe button. When you subscribe to the Financial UA channel, you help us to carry the message. And if you enjoy videos like this, please do consider clicking the like button and give us a big thumbs up for service. Also, if you have any questions about working the fourth step or any suggestions for future topics for videos, please leave them in the comments section below. If you have a question, we can make a video to answer your question. If you propose a topic, we can make a video that addresses your topic. As we move towards closure, please visit us at www.financialua.org or email us at financialua@gmail.com. Now let's close with our prosperity prayer. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, the wisdom to know the difference, and the prosperity to afford it. Awesome. Hey, thanks so much for joining us and helping to hold this space for healing and recovery. Please help us carry the message by subscribing to our channel and sharing this video with others. And most important, keep coming back. Have a great day, everybody.
God grant us the serenity to accept the things we can change, courage to change the things we can, wisdom to know the difference, and the prosperity